higher poly model in. Oh well, as long as still messed on it. And bam, bam, bam. That looks.
Oh my God, Leo David's streaming.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
The Leo. The light. You know what you did.
Are you streaming, bro?
Who?
Spicy.
Oh, okay. Well, thank God you're here to do it. Yeah, there you go then. And if you take out the S, it's
Oh, God.
hot gun cream.
What's up, bro?
Everything's funny, man. Everything. Let's see. So I got the pelvis now.
Do you think Bad King has a inserts boob brush?
Oh yeah, dude.
He has everything.
He's got it all, man. It had to be higher. It had to be higher.
Higher.
Pick up my monster arm while you're at it.
My goodness. You is it hot in there, dude?
You saw that central AC, son? Oh, baby, I want to get with ya and take your picture. Yes, we hire him.
Huh?
You and your fucking out at sea sculpting microphone with the wind blowing.
I don't lie, I was kind of peeking at Chris's boobs just to kind of get some references. Like,
Oh, wait, really?
yeah, a little bit. I didn't feel like pulling up references and noticed you working, and I was like, yeah, I'll just kind of copy his a little bit.
Well, actually, I cleaned out my. I lost all my stuff when I cleaned out the computer, so I can't give you anything.
You should thank Raph for acknowledging your existence.
Yeah, seriously.
And
Should
your
I? Or yes, you were. God damn it!
Ooh.
I was what?
You insulted my religion, man.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, two of my religions, man.
Then I took an arrow to the knee.
Let's see. This is Crack City.
Hey Spice, how's it going?
What's going on, brother?
Actually just doing some Bethesda work that I'm a little behind on. I wanted to get it done by this afternoon and I'm really late. So I'm kicking myself. But yeah, in any case,
It was when's your daughter's birthday?
it's
tomorrow?
the 27th.
Oh, okay.
Days away. The new Photoshop update is a little weird. Alt backspace doesn't work.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, I use that a lot for Phil. So.
Yeah, control backspace works, but alt backspace does not.
Alt backspace is foreground fill too, so that doesn't even make any sense.
If I try and even type it in as a hotkey, alt or control backspace. So weird. Yeah, the foreground fill doesn't work.
That's weird.
Oh my god, I don't have a shirt on.
No. Get out of here.
Who is saying that? Is it Raphael?
I guess Hiram.
Oh, yeah, we're streaming, by the way. So streaming, yeah.
Sorry. I just didn't know who was talking.
Mm.
That was me for a second.
Who was that?
That's Hiram right now.
Oh no, Raphael, you were the one that was talking.
Okay.
I referred to you.
All the designers, so we need some progress and on some pose. Arise, Ambo.
Oh, okay, so that's so weird. So alt backspace doesn't work. It's alt delete. It's alt delete delete. So if you're using Photoshop 2018, you have to tap delete twice, which is so weird.
Just tap it.
No, so you know how when you hit Control Backspace on Windows, it does the background color fill?
Yeah.
Alt Backspace is supposed to be the foreground color fill, but it doesn't work.
Okay.
So instead, you have to hit Alt, and then while holding Alt, you have to tap Delete twice. So you know that little thing to the right of Backspace where it says Insert, Delete, Home, End? You have to hold Alt and then double tap Delete in order to do the foreground fill.
Weird.
I know, right?
That's interesting.
Spice, that is looking really great. I'm really, really surprised at how fast you got that done.
Same here, dude. I was like, wow, I got most of it done.
You did. How long did that take you to do in the end?
Probably 6 to 8 hours.
For the whole thing? Jesus.
Uh-huh.
That's good stuff.
Thanks, man.
I wish I was that fast. You gotta
You are
Give me
that
your-
fast, man.
give me your mojo, man. Teach me your ways.
Oh my god. Dude, you can't know what you're
Oh, that not what you meant? No, I'm sorry.
No, that's exactly what you meant.
Mm.
Maybe.
But yeah, he's super fun to make. Super fun.
Should have done the female version I sent you.
All right. Big old tits hanging out everywhere.
Just flopping.
Mhm.
Like fucking Popeye flopping. Goddamn.
Send it to my boy Morgan. Have him do some cloth
Dude.
work on it.
Raphael, have you seen the female version that I sent to Spicer?
No, but sure. Show it to me now.
I don't have the link in front of me, but it was on ArtStation.
Let's take a
Should be one of the last messages you sent me.
Yeah. Haven't seen Lance in here in a while.
There's nothing in the chat.
It was to him privately.
Yeah, okay. It was an A-B conversation.
You're like letter H. Okay. H for horse cock. That's what you are.
Mm.
Oh. Eh. Oh, God.
Oh wait, this was big thing.
Okay. It's 1:22 in the morning, guys. I am gonna go pass out.
Alrighty.
Keep us for the week.
Have a good night, guys. Take care.
Later.
Later.
Late.
There, get the fuck out of here.
Late.
Get the fuck out of here.
Who the fuck was that guy?
I don't know. His name wasn't Hiram though,
Ooh.
so you get to stay. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, I take that back. That do.
Yeah, take that back, bro.
He's
I
a better
took it
take
back.
it back, bro.
Almost got me started.
We'll start now. There won't be nothing. All right.
I wanna be.
Don't want to be.
Oh,
Wait.
God, I'm still streaming.
Oh, it is.
I forgot you're still streaming, bro. You. Yeah, make sure you check out Highly Top Secret art page, Facebook. Got a lot of great live streams.
Mm-hmm. All the time. Fitness, health, band class, all that shit.
Oh, did I tell you? I did check in with Lance, not Lance, Paul Gabori,
Oh, nice.
and he said that indeed ZBrush 4.8, the Z remesher is not compatible with Maya 2018. So that question was answered.
Very fast too.
Yeah, no, he got right on top of it. Although I did ask him, so is this going to be fixed in a future update? Well, what he told me was that the code was written before 2018 came out, and then I asked him if it would be fixed in a future update, and he couldn't speak to that. So
You mean GoZ, right?
yeah, GoZ. Sorry, GoZ doesn't work with.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I figured. All right, cool. Don't be playing that shit. I heard.
I mean, yeah, Hiram. You know it.
So I just finished Mr. Robot episode
Oh,
5.
nice.
How many robots you saw?
What do you think?
I like, I just kept thinking to myself as I was watching that 5th episode, like, man, video games need more self-destruction escape sequences.
Yeah, that last
whole-
episode was so good, man.
Yeah, no, I love the pandemonium from the that was going on in the building. All I kept thinking about was like, man, we don't have like a Die Hard style video game where, you're trying to get out of a situation like that, and you just hear the PA blaring like, "This is not a drill. Please evacuate." And it's just going. And I'm like, yeah, that would be so cool. But I think that really set up the atmosphere. I want to know what's in that paper bag, though.
Was it the hard drives?
No, she gave the paper bag to the dude, and then she gets this little white paper bag, and she's got this horrified look on her face, and that's before what's his name shows up at the end, But I'm so happy they turned that chick into a villain, because I always thought she was like really unlikable for like the first 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they were doing something really interesting, but now it's almost like, I don't know. Now that the cat's out of the bag concerning like Elliot's personal problems, so to speak, I almost feel like there's so much. There's so much they could have or should have done.
We're streaming, just in case.
Yeah, I'm not giving any spoilers. I'm being careful. Don't worry, Hiram.
But yeah, it's such a great show, and the feeling, and I know it wasn't one continuous shot, but it really felt like it was.
What you mean the sequence in episode 5?
Yeah.
When's 6 coming out?
This Wednesday.
Wednesday? Oh, okay. So
it comes out every Wednesday. Mm-hmm.
That's good shit, man. Any other shows you could recommend? I never really caught up on the whole Game of Thrones thing. I never really cared.
That.
Huh?
You probably love that, dude.
Not really. I remember I started to watch I got 3 episodes in and I got incredibly bored because of how slowly it was developing, and I'm just like, so I just stopped. I never watched past that.
No longer friends. So yeah, that just happened.
Where I checked my friend count, which mysteriously went down by 1 tonight or last night, and I was like,
Revelations. Breaking Bad, did you watch that?
I'm not too into the shows that are very realistic, like those sorts of crime or family drama things. It's really not my speed. To put it a certain way, it's like there are games that I recognize are good games, like for example, Last of Us. Definitely, amazing game, but it's not my personal cup of tea. Just because the setting and being set and the characters with the southern accents and it just being like everything. I don't know. Like if you're gonna do post-apocalyptic, stuff. I've never been terribly into zombies, so I don't really dig The Walking Dead. But for me, it's always been an issue of like, I don't know, like. If you're gonna do something with a realistic setting and have like a fantastical thing on it, like I'm into things like Uncharted, But like, I don't know. I don't really like the whole something with the look of it, like a dude just wearing blue jeans and a fucking plaid button-down shirt. It's like I dress like that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I can't use that as my escape or anything. And I'm not really big on stories set in like the country or in some sort of rural type of setting. Like I personally really need it to be, if you're gonna do something, like make it more fantastical than that. Like even The Division, like The Division's got some sci-fi, but you look at it and people dress kind of normally, and it just sort of takes me out of it. You know, I'd much rather, if I'm gonna do fantasy, it just has to be enough to you know, stimulate me, which Game of Thrones doesn't do because it progresses too slowly for my liking. And you know, I'm big on sci-fi, but I don't know. I'm just really picky regarding what I watch and why. Please don't hate me.
Just say a negative thing about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was an observation.
That's a masterpiece.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
more longer. What are you talking about? The pace. That pace is
It's
perfect.
slow. It is slow.
No, it should be slower.
Huh?
It ends too quickly. Yeah. I love that fucking show, man. Like, I don't know, after the first episode, like whenever they push Kid out of there, I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on?
You mean
And
because
then-
it had brother sister fucking?
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Like all that. I was like, where the fuck is this show gonna go? And then kept watching it. And they did it again and did it again. And I don't know. I stuck with it. I mean, it's like the only fantasy that we're really gonna have because you know how expensive fantasy is to make.
You
This is
know
probably
what got me
it.
the beginning, even before that, is when Jeffrey was getting slapped. I'm like, oh, I like this guy already.
Oh yeah, the dwarf, dude. Oh my
You
god.
mean Peter Dinklage?
Yeah, dude. That guy's fucking badass. Does so much shit, man.
I got a very good cast on that.
Maybe you just weren't in the mood or something for it. Maybe that's what.
Yeah, but it's also just one of those things, because I've talked to other people and they said to me that that's pretty much how it's, they said to me that's how much it, like, that's what it's like for a while, where it keeps developing at that pace. So if I didn't really care for it in the super beginning, I'm probably not going to be able to get into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, part of me also feels like the popularity of shows like Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones is part and parcel to do with the fact that a lot of times there's nothing else on to watch or nothing else on that's like worth watching. So people sort of like, this is what happened, you know, with One Punch Man. You know, I know like everyone was obsessing over how they thought One Punch Man was awesome, except that a lot of the ideas that are in One Punch Man, like I've seen it done better in similar shows that were also better, or shows with similar premises that were way better. Like a lot of the stuff with the Superhero League and the rankings is from Tiger and Bunny, which did it better. And Tiger and Bunny is a really good show. So it was always difficult for me to get into. And then my, you know, camera angle action directing, like inner snob, kept noticing that like the action directing wasn't terribly good. It's just that it was very fast paced and like you had a lot of shit moving on the screen. So I always felt like the reason why One Punch Man was popular wasn't that it was actually really good. It's that like we've had such a drought of like must-watch anime, especially after Naruto ended, and that, you know, I know they're doing the sequel show now, but my issue largely then became that, you know, people will like, they only release these big must-watch fads one at a time. It's not like they're out there all the time for us to really sink our teeth into. So because of that, we're just sort of latching on to whatever seems popular at the time, even if it is honestly not all that great. And for people who've seen similar stuff that's directed better, like I don't know, it's hard to have that same kind of appreciation for it. So I never really got into One Punch Man because I always felt like, you know, there were other shows out there that did the same shit but better. And I really felt like, you know, it was overrated. And I'm not saying that just to be contrarian. It's because, like, I watch a shitload of it, or I have watched a shitload of anime. Like, I go through these phases where I'll watch, like, some anime and then, like, get out of it for a while and watch more live action. Like, I go through these cycles. But in my nearly 30 years of life, I've watched a shitload of stuff over the years. So, you know, I have a standard, like, built up inside of me where I'm like, I've probably seen something like this before, but done, like, way better. And the more you see, the more you watch, the harder it is to shake that. So, like, I don't know, I've just grown a little, and this is, like, my own personal tastes. I'm not trying to shame anyone else for, like, what they like or whatever, or tell them that they're wrong. I just personally have a hard time getting into stuff if I know that, you know, something similar is out there that just does it way better. You know?
Gotcha.
It's just me.
I
So,
I understand what you're talking about.
is that Leo?
Nah, just Chris.
Oh, Chris.
But yeah, I understand what you're talking about. Like, it's like some stuff like, yeah, that looks like something I've seen before, so you just don't want to watch it.
No, it's not that I don't want to watch it because I've seen it before. It's that, like, I'm always open to checking out stuff. But the problem is mainly when it looks like something I've seen before, but that other thing does it way better. I'll give you an example. Are you familiar with Hellsing?
Yep.
Okay. Have you watched Hellsing Ultimate?
Yeah.
Okay. Hellsing Ultimate is technically truer to the manga, but, you know, being a guy who studied things like shot composition and whatnot, I can honestly say that the original Hellsing series, which is not actually very true to the manga, like, they invented it's true in the beginning, but, like, the main antagonists are completely different, and it's not as goofy, I would say. And the final confrontations are, of course, very different. I would say that's a better show, just because it's better directed. It is a better quality of animation that doesn't... I know people like the exaggerated quality of Hellsing Ultimate, but, you know, I think that a lot of the frenetic movement is just not as good as some of the stuff that is in some of the stuff that's in the original show. So I just think it obviously it is a slightly older quality of animation. Like, what you find online is like whatever they were able to get off of, like, the VHS or what have you. But at the same time, I just think it's a better product.
Mhm.
So, and the other thing about One Punch Man is that, I mean, the joke itself was funny in the beginning, but eventually it got really stale for me. Like, I just couldn't care anymore because of how it got very formulaic. Whereas a show like Tiger and Bunny genuinely had characters that, you know, you grow attached to and can care about. And the movie was actually with Golden Ryan was really good. Have you seen that, Tiger and Bunny?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I have.
Did you see the movie?
No.
Oh, the movie was actually really good, and you know, what's his name? I want to call him Fire Emblem, but I don't think that's what he's called.
No. No.
You know who I'm
That's a
talking
game.
about? Yeah. So in the movie's really cool because it actually develops his character a lot. There's this one enemy that basically like projects their fears or something onto the character, and he gets caught up in that, which is causing him to like emit this blazing inferno. And you have the Pepsi commercial girl with her ice powers trying to like cool him down, and all of this other stuff. And but he's like in this dream state where his powers are just in the real world are going wild, and he's forced to relive a lot of the persecution he endured growing up because of his sexual orientation. And it was actually dealt with in this really mature way. And I was honestly, like, for a character who was always a gag character in the series proper, I was really proud of the way they dealt with that. You know, I'm not gay myself, but I felt like, man, like this was really inspirational.
It was really
And
handled tastefully, you said?
yeah, well, it wasn't just a matter of it being tasteful. I mean, it like, you know how now we have like this huge fad in entertainment where everyone needs to be represented, but more often than not, Hollywood types don't know how to do that properly, and so they wind up just turning things into quotas, and everything just seems really shallow in the way it's dealt with. This was actually dealt with like this is a great example of like, here's how you use or a character who has an LGBT orientation and doing it really successfully in a way that is that has redeeming value. So it's not just like they have this gay character in there and they're trying to. It's a matter of it being tasteful or not tasteful. It's like if you're going to have a gay character in there and use that character to make a statement, doing it the right way. An example of it gone wrong is like, I don't know how many of you watch the Supergirl show, but they have these. Do you?
No, I just remember it.
I have nothing against gay characters. One of my favorite characters in comic books is North Star from Alpha Flight, he's fucking awesome, but he's also the first openly gay superhero. But the way they deal with it in Supergirl is like they took these two female characters, one of whom is supposed to be a badass secret agent, and the other of whom is a cop, who in the Superman comics is actually one of the biggest badasses in the Metropolis Police Department. And what they wound up doing with the whole gay story arc is they spent all of the episodes up until now, of the latest season, literally just relegating the badass secret agent girl to her lady parts. Like, it's weird. The show tries to like do this balancing act between pleasing more liberal viewers and then more neoconservative viewers. On the one hand, it's trying to represent, people of other sexualities. On the other hand, because one of the two of this couple, like they turned it into, let's have 90s stereotypes about, lesbian weddings from like sitcoms. Then these characters have done no secret agent work, no police work. They're literally, their entire story arc is all about how one of them wants kids, the other one doesn't want kids, and of course they're a lesbian couple, so they can't naturally produce kids, and that breaks everything off. And like, this is what they relegated the characters to, where I'm like, I'm not a lesbian, but if I was a lesbian watching this, I'm pretty sure I would be really offended because of how they miss the point. Like, this is not how you represent these sorts of characters. So that was my whole experience watching it. But Tiger and Bunny, they did something really awesome with the way they dealt with that gay character. And again, for a character who was like always supposed to be a gag character, I was like, wow, I didn't expect that from this show of all shows. So it's a good movie too, and it takes place after the events of the series.
Okay,
So-
that makes sense.
Yeah. They did two different movies. One of them is a compilation or movie that's supposed to cover the first few episodes, but the second movie actually takes place afterwards. So Tiger is now part of like that B League or whatever, because he can only maintain his powers for a minute. And so Bunny is in the better league, and he's given this other partner who has similar powers to Tiger, but of course he can maintain it longer than Tiger can. And I just realized right now, as I'm talking about this, that this whole thing is probably an innuendo for middle-aged men being able to keep it up, which I didn't realize before. So, but it's good, and I think that the cool thing about Tiger and Bunny is that there's an ongoing story that unfolds over time. With One Punch Man, it's just like, oh, him fighting the next most powerful bad guy, but it doesn't matter because he can just kill him in a punch.
The problem is power creep at that point.
But well, normally it would if this were Dragon Ball Z. But the
Fucking
problem
Dragon Ball has its own fucking problems, really.
Oh, yes. And there are many YouTube videos about why power levels are stupid, because it used to be, or in
it's
other
not power
shows.
level, it's power creep at this point.
Oh, well, it's a part of it, though. Like, but I agree. But in the problem with it in the context of One Punch Man for me has always been that the power creep itself doesn't matter, because the whole gag behind this character is that he can kill anything in a single punch, and like the really big bad, he's able to finish off without even having to really exert much effort. Like, he's apparently way more powerful than that. So if there are no stakes for the character and there's no like ongoing narrative where you care, like, what's the point? If the characters aren't really invested in what they're doing, then it's hard for the audience to be invested in watching the show, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And stakes. Mostly stakes.
Yeah, stakes are really important, which is also the big problem with the current Dragon Ball Super arc. There are no stakes, because we already know that they have to make it out of this as the victor,
Or else there won't be any Dragon Balls.
Yeah. Well,
See,
or else, well, they already confirmed it, because the show takes place, the show leads into the Peaceful World arc of Dragon Ball Z. So, I don't, do any of you guys watch
into Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah, so Super does not take place after Dragon Ball Z. It takes place, between the last two sagas. So
Wait, between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z?
No, it takes place between the Buu saga and like that epilogue saga at the very end, where we first meet. So in Dragon Ball,
the epilogue saga.
it's where Goku meets Oob.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and Oob has already been referenced in the show. So like, but the Toyotaro, the guy who is pretty much writing the show and based on Toriyama's notes, and who has working on the manga, he already confirmed that the show leads into the Peaceful World arc of DBZ, which means that there's no way, like when you have an apocalyptic, potentially reality ending event, they have to get through it without any major character death, because otherwise that arc can't happen, So there are literally no stakes. Whereas in something like Dragon Ball GT, as reviled as it is by some fans, there were legitimate stakes and characters die and stay dead. So
Yep. I forgot who died in GT. Like, who actually?
Krillin dies, Piccolo dies.
Oh yeah. Piccolo stayed in hell in GT.
Yep. And Krillin gets killed by Super 17.
Oh yeah.
Who else dies? I forget. But GT's ending, I was really hyped for because they reveal that Goku puts the fate of he puts Vegeta, as the leader of the Z Warriors when he leaves, and I'm just like, that's so cool. We get Vegeta time now, and then no,
they just ended it.
Yeah, that's my big gripe about that. But GT turned out the way it did because unlike Super, which is an ongoing series with no imposed limitations, GT was originally only supposed to be 40 episodes long. And it was actually popular when it came out, popular enough to warrant an extension of 24 episodes. So but it was confined to that, so it wasn't able to fully realize all of its ideas.
I mean, GT could have been great if more. I think it's just more thought was put into it. Really,
I think that it needed more time to develop its ideas, and when you're restricted to such a restrictive episode count, you can't really do that. So that's why, for example, the reason why the Super 17 arc had to happen was because they needed an excuse for the Black Dragon, not the Black Dragon Balls, but the evil Shenron to happen. And that's an idea that harkens back to the very original Dragon Ball and is reiterated also in Dragon Ball Z, that they never really... sorry, I'm multitasking at the moment. That's an idea that came as a warning by both Kami and Old Kai. So they
Dragon Balls too many times.
Correct. The whole spiel was don't abuse the Dragon Balls, but they were only supposed to be used once every 100 years, and they just kind of
used it like a telephone.
Yeah. They use it as a get out of jail free or get out of death free card, and you're not supposed to let that happen. So, that's why at the end of DBZ or at the end of Dragon Ball GT, I was excited because they did this thing where they did this thing where
they got rid of the Dragon Balls actually.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm sorry if I'm struggling to find the words because I'm just multitasking over here. Yeah. But yeah, no, that's exactly what happens. The Goku joins Shenron because they are on their way to, or the balls need time to recharge and get rid of all that negative energy, and Goku just goes with.
Because he's a good dad,
What? Yeah, of course. Yeah, such a deadbeat, that guy. But he, what was cool about that is it set up the potential for a series in which, they couldn't lean on the Dragon Balls to solve all of their problems.
Or Goku.
Yeah, or Goku.
Because he's pretty much like, let's all rely on Goku. He will solve our problems. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel for Vegeta, like when his own wife is like, yeah, just wait for Goku to save the day, and he's like, woman, it's like I feel sorry for him because his own wife doesn't seem to have faith in his ability to protect people. So,
and then after that, there's that stigma like you can't be better than Goku. Well, Goku is pretty much the poster child of the Dragon Ball Z anyway.
Everyone loves Vegeta though. Like there are people who are waiting for Vegeta to finally have his time to shine. And it really is a bummer that he hasn't been given that yet. But I personally am also a Vegeta fan.
I only watch Dragon Ball just because of Vegeta.
Huh? Do you really?
Honestly. Yeah, I just watch it just because of him, dude. Like ever
Oh,
since he
he's so
popped
good.
out with a fight with Goku, I said, "That's my man right there." That's
Have
my
you
man.
seen the abridged series?
Oh yeah.
Memorial win through
Oh,
him. Hell yeah, dude. This is all me right here.
I'm so sad that we're gonna have to wait till next year for the
Yeah, I
Cell
could
games.
totally relate to him.
Well, the Cell
His
game's going to
time,
be finished up in
his
that
time
episode.
will come. Trust me.
Say it again.
I think the
Sorry?
Cell game's going to be finished up in that episode in the Bridge series.
Well, yeah. Well, they're doing it as one big episode. Did you hear the announcement?
Yeah.
I'm so sad about that, though. I want to know what the reason is. Like, they say they're not at liberty to talk about it. So,
I think they're working with a different project, and because they do they do other voice acting stuff with other either games or actual.
well, they worked on the Dragon Ball games when they did the English localization of Xenoverse 2. That's why if you walk around and you talk to the various NPCs around Content City, like there's always that one dude that has the Nappa voice where he goes, Vegeta. That's why. So, because they got, I think it was Lanny Pator to redo a lot of the dialogue in that game because the dub job or the scripting was horrible, and they had him rewrite it. Because after watching that show, I just couldn't go back to
Regular
watch the way it was
Z.
before. Because, well, the part of it is because it really gives you an appreciation for like how well paced the abridged series is and how poorly paced
Dragon
Um,
Ball.
the
Dragon Ball
original.
in general.
It,
Well,
it's
if I remember correctly, Dragon Ball wasn't supposed to be what it is to Dragon Ball Z. Like
what
it
do
was
you mean?
supposed to be a fun. It was supposed to be really like a fun comedic adventure thing.
Well, that's the way Dragon Ball was, but I'm talking about DBZ specifically. Like, there are so many episodes where characters just stare out into space, and it really feels like they're dragging out the runtime of the episode. So it doesn't feel like it's naturally.
You're right about that, dude. They do be dragging like Dragon Ball, like fuck.
That's why the abridged series is so good because the pacing is just so much better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie about that because they just cut out what they said. Well, that's boring. We can't make fun of that because there's nothing. It's just boring.
Oh god, I love that Broly movie. He's so cool, but he's so, my god, he's so dumb.
He's so cool, but it's so dumb.
But it's so
He's
cool.
so cool.
But it's so dumb. Oh man, I remember he's like, where he says, he's like, haven't you been neglecting somebody? He's like, Broly's wife?
Yeah.
He's like, no, you idiot, you're king. And he's like, well, what is a king to a god? And he's like, what is a god to a non-believer? And he's like, do you believe now? He's like, yeah, oh my god, so cool. But, do you know about the fan theory that Vegeta is really stronger than Goku? It's just that he doesn't have his tail. And the whole theory was that if, that,
You get this. Well, then that means something with the other universes. Like,
well, no, the theory was that Vegeta is, had Vegeta not cheated to get his Super Saiyan 4 form, he would actually be more powerful than Goku because, the idea being that Goku lost his tail as a child, whereas Vegeta lost it when he was an adult, right? So the general logic here is that Vegeta, like if Vegeta rightfully got his tail back,
technically, he was already stronger than Goku when they first met.
Yeah, fucking Yajirobe chopped off his tail like a bitch. But that was the other thing, is that Goku could not control himself when he was in his ape form, but Vegeta could. And so this led credence to the theory that Vegeta is actually, secretly stronger than Goku. It's just, and
Goku had a higher potential. Whatever.
yeah, I don't know. I've given up on that show. I think the revival of the series could have been really great, and I think they ultimately screwed it up. That's just me.
No, well, like I said, it's not, the show isn't bad. It's what I expected. That's pretty much what it is.
Oh, I think Super's bad. I think it's fair.
No,
to call it
Super. I said Super is what I expect. Super is what I expected.
bad. Super is a cash grab, but Super could have been way better. Oh,
Shit.
I was a little more optimistic than you, so I feel more let down.
Yeah, I understand, but like I said, yeah, this is what I expect from Dragon Ball Z. I mean Dragon Ball Super. Like, I mean, it shows you like this fights and everything. Like, oh my god! But after that, yeah.
I think the fights were done better in Z and GT.
Well, they did. You see, they did some. They did. You can see some clear animation cheats they did. So that's probably one of the reasons why. But other than that, they did some things good in Super, but that's about it. It's pretty. Yeah, like I said, it is a cash grab. No lie. No one's going to deny that. It's clearly there for people who just can't get enough.
Well, I mean, I couldn't get enough of Z when it first came out, but I still think that had a higher standard, or Z held itself to a higher standard. And one of the other things about, someone said this, I don't know if you follow the YouTuber Hail Zeon, but he mentioned at one point that Super has no organic storytelling. Like, it just randomly goes from one thing to the next, whereas, without them actually connecting or having to do with each other. Whereas with Z and GT, usually it was like what happens next happens as a consequence of what happened before. So it was like more organic storytelling. If that makes any sense?
Yeah, I know.
And I found that to be really, really interesting. I think there's a lot to learn from that. If you're
but the main thing is, like, Super, I feel like they just rushing it a little bit too fast, Super. So
really, with the 40-hour long or with a 40-minute long tournament that's already gone on for like how many episodes?
I wish they
now?
didn't say 40-minute long term.
Because it's a Dragon Ball time.
The problem is Dragon Ball time. A 40-minute long term is 40 episodes worth. There you go.
No, it's way more than that, because 5 minutes long for the Frieza fight, that was only 20 minutes, or that was 20 episodes long, or 25 episodes long.
Well, that's a bunch of staring, really. So it wasn't really any fighting, and people were talking for more than 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z for you.
Oh man.
For 5 minutes, it's like, yeah, the planet's gonna blow up in 5 minutes. 40 episodes later, god damn it.
Oh well, but I don't know. But I just didn't like how they had to push the power creep into other Saiyans, though.
Oh, you mean the Universe 6 ones that I hate?
Pushed it. Well,
man, I just want Bola to grow up really fast and then go Legendary Super Saiyan 3 and kick the shit out of this Kefla bullshit. I cannot even with that. It's so stupid to me. Hey, have you seen the latest episode?
Where
Kale and
cauliflower.
Yeah, cauliflower. Yeah, where they fuse.
Yeah. like I said, they say, I said, they just, that's why I think about Dragon Ball Z. It's just too much power creep. That's just too much.
Yeah. I agree with you.
I wish they had all this time that they can split this to a longer session.
Well, what they could have even done was just said that the Universe 6, like, they could have not portrayed them like little bitches in the beginning, where they're, like, weak as fuck. Like, because the problem is that they started out not knowing what Super Saiyan was, and then they picked it up unreasonably quickly. Like,
That's what's weird. So
yeah, they could have just started out being like, oh yeah, they could go Super Saiyan because they've had their fair share of wars and shit, you know, especially if they've evolved so they don't need tails anymore. But they didn't do that. So, and that's where I think the problem is. They did it so that, like, they could give Vegeta someone to mentor, and I think that mentorship thing isn't a real mentorship. And I think that's really stupid. Like the Kappa thing, Kappa only exists, and that entire story arc only exists because of Tarble. Like, and nobody liked Tarble.
mm-hmm.
So everyone else is so silent. Like, I have a feeling that you guys have no idea what we're talking about.
No, I'm pretty sure. But I just hate power creep, really. Like in any show, any show, I just hate power creep. Like drastic power creep in any show. I'm not even talking about Dragon Ball Z, like any other show that has like drastic power creep. Like they have to one top this thing. Like let's say one of the worst contenders, Bleach. Yeah, that's another thing that's
I never really watched Bleach, but I heard that was a really big problem.
Yeah, that because they have to top something that goes to the top of that. It goes to the top of that. And then they have I guess the last episode was they fought Quincy God or something like that. I don't know. It's just shows like that. It's like there's no room for real growth because you establish that it's not growth, it's not non-relate. You can't relate to the characters at all because the characters are just so damn strong.
Yeah, they become power fantasies for 12-year-old boys. And what was great, like, there's a YouTuber who talks about this and the problem with power levels in Dragon Ball, because in the original Dragon Ball, for the first few arcs, it was actually all about Goku solving problems by moving laterally. And what I mean by that is it's not that his strength number went up, but that he actually had to, like, solve problems in a very different way. And the result of this was that this issue didn't happen. But then when they got into the whole mercenary Tao arc with Tao Pai Pai, like, he loses to Tao. He goes, he goes up the tower to train with Korin. He trains off screen, and then he comes back and he beats Tao Pai Pai. That's the character's name, Mercenary Tao. He beats him by basically using brute force because now he's just artificially grown stronger. Previously to that, what they would have done in Dragon Ball is they would have had Goku try and figure out a way to beat a more powerful opponent, and so you would have to see how he problem solves that, but they weren't doing that anymore. And so it literally just became that Goku had this weird artificial power boost where his number magically went up, instead of him, trying to figure out a way, like figuring out the opponent's weakness or something like that. And that was really the start of it. And in Dragon Ball Z, which was called Dragon Ball Z because it was actually meant to bookend the franchise, it was supposed to be the conclusion. They just went straight like balls out with power levels, and they didn't actually realistically it all became about Goku having this magical power boost off screen where he would get physically stronger because his number went up, instead of it being about him trying to figure out a way around the opponent, or around the opponent's strengths. And that's really where the failure of Dragon Ball became, in just that it forgot how to tell a story where characters would problem solve their ways around more powerful opponents. And instead it just became, about characters getting these artificial strength boosts where they would magically overpower them, and it happened every time.
Just shitload of steroids, man.
Yeah, it's just he needs to get his number up so that he could beat the next most powerful bad guy. And that's all it became, learn the next secret technique.
And
I still think it's ridiculous that Vegeta and Piccolo have never fought.
Yeah.
They had that whole bit in Abridged where it's like, do you remember that episode where Mr. Popo is like, call me that one more time and see what happens? Do you not remember?
Vaguely a bit.
Oh, so Goku and Vegeta. Oh, let me just find it for you.
I'll look at it later then, if that's the case.
It's a really, really short clip. Come on. Oh, that wasn't the one I was looking for. Oh, come on. Oh.
Yeah, I'll find it later. Don't worry about it.
Fuck, yeah, I can't find it. Shit. God damn it. I mean, I know the episode it's from, and it happens, at the very beginning. I was trying to look for the clips.
So I'm just captivated by this panther right here. That's on the screen. I think that's panther, cat, or dog. I don't know, animal. I like it.
Who's doing it? Oh, X-Mantra. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, have you seen this one by chance? It's Kenshiro from Fist of the North Star versus Cell.
Yep. Yep, I've seen that one. Oh, that's a gargoyle?
Yep.
Oh, it is a gargoyle, okay.
All good for the Batman I was doing.
Hmm?
This Batman I was doing.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, he's just standing on that gargoyle. Okay, that makes sense. I thought you meant the Batman. Okay. All right, where's my thing? But yeah, I seen that clip though.
Cool.
Let's see. I hope this will.
I'd be sharing my screen, but I'm working on some NDA stuff at the moment.
Gotcha. So no sharing. Gotcha.
Just for now. Once I can get this done, I will share in a little bit, but I have to do 3 more of these first. So it might be a little bit.
Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do.
And then do it some more, and then do it twice more.
And do it one more time. You know, for shits and giggles. Or giggles and shits. We don't judge. Well, we do judge, but not too much. We judge. I'll be right back.
Hit this one.
So what do you think is going to happen in Mr. Robot, Spice? Do you think that
Yeah, no fucking clue, man. That shit
I
changes
think
all
that
the
chick's
time.
gonna die. I think she's too unlikable to live.
Mm.
I love that line from last season though, where the guy is like, or where she's in that bar talking to that woman, and she, the woman tells her that story of like, so woman is you know, at a, or she goes to a party or something, and there's this like dude there. Forget how the actual thing went, but you know, the dude, well-dressed guy, walks up to her and is like, so says something like, So, trying to remember what he says. It's something like, you know, would you, like he offers her $1 million to sleep with him, and she's never seen that kind of money before, so she's really starting to consider it, you know. And then he turns around and he says, "Well, now how about if I offered you $1?" And she's like, "Wait, what? What kind of a woman do you think I am? Like $1? What kind of woman do you think I am?" And he's like, "Oh, we've already established that. Now we're just negotiating."
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, when she
that
was
was
talking to that lawyer before she was
yeah, the
just
lawyer at the
him.
bar, and then she
Yeah.
goes and sleeps with the other guy like immediately after that. I love that line, but I also think that scene just kind of punctuates how unlikable this particular character is. And why I despise her so much. So yeah.
What are you hoes doing?
What up, dog?
Zoom out, man. Let me see that sexiness you got there.
You want to see this? You want to see this shit?
Put it in the glass. Oh my god. Wow.
Mm.
Stepping it up.
Hey, Stafford. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
You're up, Stafford.
Hey, my Hiram, nipple man.
What are you wearing?
What up, what up?
Three, two, one, Hiram.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
All right.
All right.
Hey,
You want to beef?
you don't want to beef? I don't want to beef.
What the hell?
Doing that, man, you're gonna get us sick.
hour and a half for one creature.
What? What are you doing? Where are you going?
Just did this in an hour and a half since the stream started.
Nice. That looks dope, dude.
Self-portrait,
Mm.
specifically the thong that he's wearing,
Mm.
that I'm also wearing.
Cool. So you're gonna stay another 3 hours?
What's that?
So you're gonna stay another 3 hours?
No.
Why?
No, I don't like spending too much time with you. The only reason I'm here is Christopher.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think,
That
man?
makes. Chris doesn't even want to talk to you, dude.
No, he's AFK, I know that. That's why I'm playing for.
Like, fuck that, dude.
Did you hear about the Riot art contest?
I did. Well, I'm totally not doing it.
No?
Oh yeah, there's a contest. Was Riot?
You can do whatever you want, pretty much. There's categories for pretty much anything. As long as it's in their style and for their game.
Concepting.
I don't really care about League of Legends, and more than that, I just don't like Riot Games as a company.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind making some models for them. No
Well,
problem.
yeah, but their hiring process is really fucked up, and the company is just, I don't know.
Yeah, I would never apply.
I forgot you were streaming, so I'm not going to talk about that yet.
Never apply no studio. So I would never apply at no studio. Not now. Not. I wouldn't apply maybe 5 years from now. Maybe I would.
If they wanted to give me money to work for them, they'd have to pay me a lot.
Yeah,
but I'm not doing anything. I don't.
In the studio, but by someone that might get me in there instead of me applying there.
I don't really care enough about League of Legends to ever do fan art of it. For personal reasons.
Lance in the house.
Who?
It's called.
There's Lance in the house. Lance Baker, everybody. The infamous, famous Lance Baker.
Yo, Lance, what up, man?
There's a sexy man in the middle of Finland.
Are you publicly masturbating again?
He's got that Beavis face on.
I've got back from the USA. Like, Two Life Crew.
You going out to see your woman that left you for Canada?
Yeah, I'm going there.
Oh, Lance, I sent you a message on the Book of Faces and I never heard back.
Which one?
Dave K. I sent you a message fairly recently.
Oh. Let's see.
Yeah, his fee is up.
I didn't get it.
Oh yeah, we're.
$5 fee is up for his membership on 10K.
What fee?
Just write back to me if you can, because they're streaming right now. But it's about that.
About 10K?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, you guys can talk about it. You guys can talk about anything on my stream right now.
Yeah, man. We won't leave this room.
It says you saw it on Sunday at 11.
I didn't see it. Where is it? What's your name? Hold on. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh. Oh, yeah, you're not going to get unblocked. Sorry.
That's his membership.
The reason why It's not my decision. They fucking, I don't know, they said you were messaging people.
No, it wasn't. That's fucking bullshit.
Like Lena?
Oh.
Lena? What's that girl's name? The 3D artist, Lena.
Jerusalem.
And I don't know. Part of me wants to not be an admin on 10K because people just get banded.
So you gotta be an admin right there. You gotta make me an admin there.
No, I think I think I thought she was an admin at the time. I didn't know, and I just wrote to her to ask if it was possible for me to, for her to.
No, that's Katia. Katia is an admin there.
Say it again.
The Katia.
Yeah, because what happened is she told me that Katia was an admin, and I mistakenly thought she was. So then I just wrote to Katia after that. That's all that happened, so I don't know why the fuck that would prevent me from getting back on.
Okay, and you didn't post anything. Nothing, no ads or anything.
No, I didn't.
I don't know why you're blocked.
Or now.
There's a $5 penalty, I'm telling you guys.
No, there's not.
Well, like, I wrote to Katia and I said that you unblocked me, but,
Yeah, you didn't even post anything.